Dozens of Bahamians flocked to the Bahamas Faith Ministries Diplomat Center on Monday to receive first-hand information about the Constitution and possible changes.
Questions that came up that included the retention and enforcement of capital punishment. Should the Bahamas remain a constitutional monarchy or evolve to a republic? Should there be fixed general elections? And term limits for the Prime Minister and MPs were dished out by the Commission for Bahamians to consider.
At last night's meeting, a few Bahamians who didn't mince words gave their recommendations for possible changes.
I stand here to recommend that the preamble of the current Constitution be incorporated into the first chapter of our Constitution as a new Article 2. This preamble is based on a tried and proven value system, one that has reliably undergirded the constitutions of many thriving nations, Israel, the United States of America being two besides the Bahamas.
Defense Force is an organization that's not necessarily written into the Constitution itself, and I would suggest that there would be a suggestion that the Defense Force, as far as powers and functions, be written inside the Constitution.
Who are holding office after the election, they can leave office with dignity, and there can be an official handover ceremony to show that the government of the Bahamas is continuous, where the outgoing Prime Minister is required to be at the ceremony to hand over, or President, if we choose to go to Republic, to hand over the reins of our state to the incoming Prime Minister. I have a suggestion that it be either 2 weeks or a month after a fixed date general election, so that those who have served our country, ministers, they can leave their offices with dignity, because
More private citizens are stepping up to partner with urban renewal, and some are doing so in a substantial way. Former Cabinet Minister Tennyson Wells and his wife Stephanie presented urban renewal with a check for $20,000 today. The donation will go towards purchasing more instruments for the urban renewal band, and those who will most benefit from the donation were on hand outside Cabinet this afternoon to entertain those who gathered. Accepting on behalf of Urban Renewal was its brainchild, Prime Minister Perry Christie. In presenting the check, Mr. Wells says it comes along with only one request, while Mr. Christie says the donation by the Wells indicates that Urban Renewal is able to transcend partisan politics.
I trust that Madam Pratt and Mr. Allen and Ms. Lightburn will look favorably on Bamboo Town, because you know that was the area that nurtured me politically and assisted in bringing me really to where I am today. And those people down there, I cannot forget them ever. So I trust that you will remember them. And I spoke to the Member of Parliament, President Member of Parliament, about it, and told him that he should try and get somebody to have the Bamboo Town marching band. He says they have some churches down there already lined up.
Mr. Wells, you know, urban renewal is much broader than the band, much deeper than the band, but the band speaks to the impact it's having in communities. Where children in communities are being given the option to really pursue a path of discipline, dedicated effort towards achieving what they're achieving. And this sum of $20,000 will augment the efforts being made to get them more instruments.
Urban Renewal hopes to have a 600-member band in time for the 40th independence celebrations. Now moving on, since his exit from frontline politics, Mr. Wells has been pursuing a private sector career. But the Prime Minister also used the occasion to announce that he has recommended Mr. Wells, with his vast experience and knowledge, to serve on the Judicial and Legal Service Commission.
Came to the exercise of the recommended power that I saw in Mr. Wells, someone who would serve that part of our democracy magnificently. Yes. He's a former Attorney General, a former minister, an attorney, comes from a background where his wife is also an attorney, and therefore brings considerable experience and judgment to that position. So I'd like to thank him for agreeing to serve in that capacity.
Flying high at the high school nationals. More winning highlights coming up.
And flowers in Junkanoo while he's still alive, the tributes to a former MP. Stay tuned.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm LaDawn Davis. Members of the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce are expecting the inaugural Eleuthera Business Outlook to impact the island of Eleuthera this coming Thursday. It's the first business outlook of its kind to hit the island, and organizers are hoping for a large showing of support from the business community. The Business Outlook series covers at least 6 islands across the country. A Bahamian-owned brewery and beverage company's newest store is now open for business. Just recently, the Bahamian Brewery and Beverage Company opened its new warehouse and retail office on Nassau Street. At the opening ceremonies, State Finance Minister Michael Halkitis applauded company officials for investing $1.6 million into the facility and employing at least 20 Bahamians. A number of schools across the capital participated in the Earth Day Primary School Symposium to celebrate Earth Day this week. Financial Services Minister Ryan Pinder believes programs like these are critical, especially when it comes to the advancement and development of students. A number of speakers from the government and the private sectors participated in the event. And that's a look at your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm LaDawn Davis.